All right, got Steven Brunzell in the building.
Oh, we put the whole government name out.
Hey, got to.
Yeah.
That's how we started, man.
Okay.
What's up with you, bro? How you living?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. What's up with you?
I'm chilling, man. I appreciate you pulling up, bro. You
No
hit me in the
doubt.
DMs talking about we need diversity over
Diversity.
here, man.
I was watching the clips. I said, man, that's what we need is drop a little sugar in this tank. Let's go. Pause.
For sure, man. For sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you pulling up, bro. So, like, to start off, man, just talk about, where you from, bro. Like, your background, upbringing, and all that. Like, where you coming from?
So I was born Holy Cross Hospital, Silver Spring. I was raised in Gaithersburg primarily, but I went to elementary school in DC, and then I went a little bit of high school in PG. And then, I just been in the DMV my whole life. Always been real into go-go music and just the whole DMV culture. And, one of my biggest aspirations is always to be a comedian. So once I got the little pop, you know what I mean? I got a couple eyes on me. I tried to strike while the iron was hot, you know what I'm saying, and do what I do best. So
where the love for comedy come from? Like, you always
man,
had
I've
it in
just
you?
always been into comedy. I've always been a class clown. I've always been a funny guy. I don't take anything seriously. I've always kind of had a fearless side to me when it comes to my humor. It got me in a lot of trouble when I was a kid because I'd be saying inappropriate shit. But now as an adult, it seems to work well for me. So
Okay. And who was some of your, like, influences growing up, comedy-wise?
man, definitely Martin Lawrence. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx, I Might Need Security is one of the funniest stand-ups. But I grew up in the In Living Color era and, the Wayans Brothers, all those guys. Chris Rock is one of my favorites. Dave Chappelle is probably my all-time greatest favorite. But Joe Rogan, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan. But man, just all comedy, and comedy all up and down the scale, like a Chris Rock and then a David Cross or like a Ari Shaffir, and like I'm all over. I just love comedy as an art form.
So, at what point did you realize you wanted to, like, do comedy, like, full time? Like, that was the end all be all.
Well, I'm not full time at comedy. I have a career, but I do this on the side. But to tell you the truth, man, people always ask me. They say, "Man, you look so comfortable up there. Like, how are you so comfortable?" I made this decision early in life. I'm talking about 9, 10 years old. The first stand-up I saw, you know what I mean? Back in the day, I think one of the first ones I saw was Andrew Dice Clay. And then I saw Killing Me Softly by Dave Chappelle. And man, just watching those, like, it just, and all the great comedians I used to watch, I was like, man, that's something I feel like I can do. And I've always been a good speaker. I've always been able to talk to people, so man, that's where it came from.
So, how has, like, your family been, like, as far as, like, family and friends, as far as, like, supporting you and your comedy
Man, so
aspirations?
my immediate family, my wife, she's always supportive. My kids love me. My kids help me with my skits all the time, and they have a good time with it. But I'm gonna keep it real. I say it all the time. People might not know this, but when you look at the likes and the views on your thing, right, a whole list comes up, and it shows you all the people that liked it, right? And people say this is not a good thing to do, but I look. I can't help it. I read the comments and I look, right? And you can see who follows you and who you're following. I get a lot of love from a lot of people I don't know. I honestly, it was, I know people always say it, that it is like that when you make it on, but it's a lot of people that I know are seeing my stuff that know me personally. And it's like, I say to people, you don't really get it until you become involved in influencing, but the likes, the views, the shares, man, that shit counts. That's the currency that we deal in as influencers in order to make money. So if you know me, you love me, you support me, you know what I mean? Sometimes I don't get it. But I get a lot of love from the city especially. My main demographic is in DC. So, I get a lot of love. Yeah.
What's, like, when you, like, doing, like, you done stand-up and everything?
So I've done a little bit of stand-up. I've been working on stand-up, like I said, my whole life. Stand-up's my true love. That art form is what I love. I've been getting more into it, as in, like, the technical side of it, learning how to write. Instead of just standing up and just being funny mid-conversation, with learning how to write jokes, bits, stuff like that. And then also one of the most important things is getting on stage and getting your chops, getting your timing down, getting all that stuff. So that's what I'm working on now. So, you asked me when did I decide to go full time. When I'm not full time, but about a year ago is when I decided, I had the opening, I had some eyes on me, and I said, you know what other chance are you gonna get? That Eminem song, you know what I'm saying? You only get one shot, baby. So I was ready to go and I took it. And since then, I do it on the side, I do it at the gym, but it is something that's a full-time job that I'm always thinking about, content and comedy and bits and what I find funny. So that's about a year ago, to answer your question, is when I really dove in and got serious about it.
So kind of like, you know, touching on, you know, the stand-up part, like I've had like other comedians on here and they talk about like the differences between, you know, doing stand-up comedy like on stage and then like actually doing content for like Instagram. Like for you, what's the difference between?
Well, I think it's two completely different things. And what I like to say is, the saying I like to use is, there's acting funny and there's being funny. I can act funny. You know, I can do funny things on the internet. I can do, you know, voiceovers and what, but like stuff like that. But can you get up on stage in front of people, keep the composure, and keep your mind running in a fluid, you know what I mean? And also be humorous, you know what I mean? I think one of the biggest differences as a stand-up, you got to connect with that audience. You got to find a way, whether it's your opening, how you greet them, you know, hey, babe, how about this weather? You know, stuff like that. That's why they do stuff like that, because you got to reel them in, connect with the audience. So I think that's the biggest difference. It's a lot less audience interaction face to face when you're doing the Instagram stuff.
So whether it be, you know, on stage or just online, how do you personally connect with your audience?
Man, listen, so what I do is, this all started with me doing something that I just always did. I got all the eyes on me right when that "Nobody Knows Me," that the bounce beat joint hit, right? I was in the gym one Saturday morning. I said, I'm gonna do a little, I used to beat my feet a little bit back in the day. So I did a quick video, right? Just doing what I love, and it blew up, right? I don't look at it, I don't go at it with how can I make people laugh. I go at it from the aspect of what makes me laugh. If I am sitting and I'm driving, a lot of times early in the morning, that's my creative period. I shut off the radio, say my prayers, I'm on the way to work, just getting my mind centered, right? That's my most creative time. So if something hits me and I'm chuckling out loud, I'm like, okay, let's write this down, let's make a note of this and come back to it. I do what I think is funny, as opposed to trying to be a people pleaser where I'm just gonna, you know, I never thought that me beating my feet, as goofy as it was gonna get me, you know what I mean, out there, but it's what I love doing, and it resonated with people. And when you authentically enjoy and engage in the stuff that you're doing, people feel that. You know what I mean? It's like this, what I say, Tupac, people argue, you know, was Tupac or Biggie the best rapper? I don't even look at Tupac as a rapper. Yes, he was a great rapper, but when Tupac said something, you felt what he was saying. When he was man, listen, when that Machiavelli album came out, he was talking about right now, you felt like, man, it was time to go. You know what I mean? And that's that connection, the connection with your audience. And I think that's super important.
When did you feel like you was starting to get motion? Like, you know, you was gaining like following on social media and you started getting
Man, it
hot?
happened overnight. I did that video, I went to bed, I woke up, I went from like 500 followers to like 2,000 followers. But as soon as that happened, I said, you know what? I can just say, oh, I went viral, move on, whatever like that. I said, but I'm gonna keep doing it. People were calling me out, oh, you can't dance, you can't this, you can't that. I said, okay, so now I gotta get better. So I kind of documented the process. And in the meantime, I said, you know, they know me for this dancing. They love, you know, this is whatever. I was like, but I'm funny, and I'm about to show them I'm funny. So I dropped a couple bangers. I have a couple videos that I produced, put together, skits that I produced, put together. They're kind of all tied into being invited to the cookout and kind of playing off all the, so I always keep it positive. I don't get on the comments and argue with people. I don't get on there and go back and forth, you're a bitch, you know, whatever like that. But what I do is like my cookout skit. You know, I take what they're saying, you're not coming to the cookout, you know, people being angry at me, and instead of going and lashing out at them, I make a joke of it, like we can laugh about it, like this imaginary cookout, where is it? Nobody knows where it is. No, it's never happened, you know what I mean? I get that it's a euphemism, but what I'm saying is like, just, and that's another way I connect with the audience. It's kind of looping it all together and showing them that I see what they're saying, you know what I mean?